I don't know. What am I saying? Who are you? What's your name?
I don't know.
What do people
I don't know.
need to know?
Maybe we should go and listen to other podcasts and see how they start. Hello, welcome to Le Pod. It's a brand new podcast we're going to be putting out from down here in the basement of Le Pub twice a month. We're going to be talking to our staff, our community, local bands, local artists, and anyone we think is interesting.
Yes, welcome to episode number 12 of Le Pod. Joining us this week, as has been revealed on our weekly scratch cards. Get involved in them as well if you want. Give us some guesses of who you think might be coming up, or don't, and feel free to tell us that they're shite and they're not working, and we'll try and do something else. Either way. But yeah, back to what I was saying. This week's guest is former frontman of Cardiff rock band Rainbow Maniac and current / future disco pop pioneer Conor Latcham. It was a great chat, a really fun, relaxed conversation, almost too much so, to be honest, too relaxed. I couldn't stay professional towards the end, kind of like just rambly and friendly and bantery, so hopefully that's nice and smooth to listen to and not just scraping the bottom of the conversation barrel, but we enjoyed it nonetheless. And during that chat, as always, we talked about many things, including...
I think once you've been banned for that long, it's hard to seem as fresh and exciting as a band that's just come out this year. So yeah, I'll get really drunk, get really productive, message other people. Also, I'll get really passionate and excited and come up with elaborate ideas when I'm pissed. And then I'll message all these people. Then in the morning, I'll feel ashamed, obviously. But I've already messaged people, so what's done is done. When I first started the fucking project like 2 years ago, I was like, right, I've got no band, I've got no team around me, I've got no money, and I've publicly announced I'm doing disco now, and I've got to fucking write 15 disco songs. And I literally had to figure out how to write a disco song.
So as you're all probably aware, there was not even a hint of a mention of pubs reopening in the most recent Welsh COVID update thing. So nothing to push there, unfortunately. We have no idea when we're going to be open, but we will be ready to do so when the time is right. So yeah, keep your ears peeled, eyes open, something like that. Stay ready. So instead, I'm going to do two things instead of pushing the pub on you. One, thank you. Thank you for every single stream, like, subscribe, download, listen. Just thank you for all the engagement so far. It's really appreciated. And yeah, it means a lot. And then secondly, and this is no reflection at all on Conor's new solo material, because it's banging, undeniably, as we mentioned in the podcast. Just want to make a public kind of plea to Rainbow Maniac to get back together, because I really like them. And I am selfish enough to want more music from them than for them to be happy in their separate paths that they've chosen. So yeah, get back together. Without further ado, here is episode 12 of Le Pod with Conor Latcham. Preamble in the chat and all that.
Yeah.
And then we go to record, and then we just have to do it again, because that's how podcasts start, doesn't it?
And you're probably like, oh, fuck, that was really hilarious what we said then. We should
I know.
have to recreate it.
I've said something witty, and I'm like, oh, damn it, why wasn't I recording then?
Yeah.
So how are you, man? You alright?
Yeah, good. I made a little note on this because that's always the question that gets asked. And I try to think of anything apart from fine, because it's so fucking boring. But yeah, really
how
good.
Are you? Followed by how has your lockdown been? Those are the two questions these days.
Yes, so I made some notes on both those things.
Oh, good. Right. Let's have a drink first. Cheers.
Yeah, fucking right. Cheers. Do you know the Matt Morgan? He's not very famous, but he's got a podcast.
Yeah.
He's done radio shows with Russell Brand, and now he's got his own podcast.
Oh yeah.
Mainly him getting drunk and talking to Noel Gallagher.
That sounds a laugh.
Yeah, and Joe Light sits on it, and it's just made me fucking really want to do a podcast and drink a bottle of wine.
Yeah, here we are, living the dream then.
Living the dream. I've been nervous as fuck today thinking about this.
Really? Oh, come
A
on.
little bit, yeah. Like,
Yeah.
I just start getting into podcast mode like 4 hours in advance, and like just my mind's racing, thinking of anecdotes and shit.
I know what you mean. I used to be like that, but like it just doesn't help.
No.
Like I find that I'm far more kind of interesting and entertaining and relaxed when it's just go.
Yeah, 100%.
Easier said than done, though, isn't it?
Yes, but as relaxed as I get, I need to fucking check myself every now and again, just so that I revert back to speaking into the microphone and and speaking relatively clearly. Because after the fucking Beers and Feelings pod that I told you about,
Yeah.
after recording the first take of that, I was so shocked by my speaking voice.
Really?
And the amount of times that I say the word like.
Oh, yeah.
It was fucking breathtaking. And
It's a Welsh burden. It really is.
And I genuinely was looking into speech therapy.
Never. You thought it was that bad?
A little bit. Well, there's no harm in trying to better yourself, and I'm always trying to.
That's true.
I'm trying to like pick up on things that I'm doing that could be improved, and that was fucking top of the list after listening back to that podcast. And yeah, she wanted like £90 an hour, and that's over FaceTime, and that's got to be locked in for 3 classes.
Never.
Which is too much. So I just fucking YouTubed it. I just Googled how to stop saying the word like. Save myself fucking 300 quid.
Yeah, exactly. Well, it seemed to work in the revised, what's it called, second take. I didn't hear a problem with the word like, so.
That's good. I did, but I think you're going to be your worst critic, aren't you?
It's toned down at least, yeah. Someone, after we put down the first few episodes of the pod, someone told me that I finish almost all of my questions in or what. So,
Right.
like, is the single going good or what? Like, I would just end with that. And I can't say that I've even tried to better it. So if I still say it, then there we are. So be it.
You sound great to me. I've been listening to a few of your episodes.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
So, Beers and Feelings, the podcast. How that got released today, right?
What day is it today? Thursday. It came out Tuesday.
Tuesday. Close enough. How's the reception been?
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
I've had a few unprovoked messages from people saying that it was really good, really funny, and like quite like specifics as well. Like that bits were like insightful and meaningful, and also ridiculous and hilarious in other bits. So it's like it's better than just a oh yeah, good, well done.
Really enjoyed it. Yeah. Good work.
So yeah, that fucking gave me a bit of a boost, because I was worried that just literally no one would give a shit, no matter how many 6-part posts I do on Instagram.
I enjoyed that as well. I always enjoy a 6-part post, to be honest. It's impressive.
Yeah, I've just got into it. I've been going fucking mental.
High level Instagram.
Yeah, I'm paying for apps and all sorts.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
The full thing. It's kind of weird. I thought it was interesting that, like, you, I don't know, listening back to your podcast, you weren't comfortable with it, considering like you've recorded a lot in the past in terms of music and stuff. But I guess it's a completely different thing.
Yeah, I've never cared about listening to myself back. Definitely not music, and even talking, I don't mind that either. But it's because this was half an hour, and the job is to speak clearly. If I'm listening back to myself on a voice memo and I'm just chatting shit, mumbling loads, I don't really care, because that's what you do. But when the job is to fucking project and sound good, then it becomes. Then it's like, right, well, that's fucking embarrassing. Let's fucking sort that out. Hopefully, this will be a level above Beers and Feelings.
Oh, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what we can do. I'm feeling competitive now.
I've been whipping myself ever since the first take of Beers and Feelings.
Is there going to be more, or is it a one-off?
There was going to be one a week until the end of April, just to promote the single. Yeah. But then I didn't want to just lock myself into being a fucking podcaster in case literally no one gave a shit, and I gotta fucking keep churning out podcasts.
Yeah.
And also, it gets a bit confusing if I'm doing fucking film reviews and podcasts, and it's like, well, who are you? What is this?
What
is
do
this
you actually do?
account? Yeah. So I thought just a one-off standalone podcast, which is really funny.
Yeah.
Will be a lot easier to just market and just for everyone to digest. Yeah, exactly. And if it is great,
yeah,
which I hope it is, I could do a follow-up, I guess, quite easily. Well, I got a few ready to go if need be.
Oh, yeah. Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I think you should go for it. Yeah, why not?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I'll see you. I'll see how it goes.
So is it all like Conor Latcham, the musical artist, I guess, is the main thing, right? And then the podcast and the film reviews are auxiliaries to that, I guess?
Yeah, just ways of promoting the music, and
that's how you see it as well, yeah?
Yeah, just avenues to filter people down through into my music, because I enjoy them all. Maybe not equally. The music is the best, but they're all on pretty much a level playing field. But I haven't got any fucking right to be a podcaster or a film reviewer. It's just I actually put work into making music.
Yeah.
If the film reviews were my full-time job, people would be like, "What the fuck are you doing to make this content?" Because it's so, like, particularly the film reviews, they are shit, but that is part of their charm. There's no intellectual. Yeah, there's no fucking intellectual analysis in those. There's hardly reviewing, to be honest.
There's enough of that in the world.
Exactly. Yeah, everyone's intelligent.
Or presumes to be, or pretends to be.
Or seemingly, yeah. So probably more relatable to just say absolute nonsense and congratulate my friend on having a kid and stuff.
Yeah. Let's talk music a little bit then. So you spent a huge amount of time in Rainbow Maniac, correct?
Yeah, 8 years.
Obviously correct, because I was a big fan. I really liked it. And
really?
I didn't know that you guys are split up until you got in touch to come on the podcast.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so I was gutted. What happened there? Like, why is Rainbow Maniac no more, if you don't mind me asking?
Yeah, not at all. I'll just give you the full answer.
Yeah.
And then if that is too much for a light-hearted pod, you can just take bits out.
Yeah, go on.
Laura, the bassist, stopped being in the band a year before they broke up.
Right.
And then we were just getting in other bassists to have like a rotating bassist as a bit of a gimmick.
Yeah,
so just every few gigs there'd be a new bassist, which would be just fun for everyone. And then also I couldn't be asked to get a new bassist in and then go through branding and get them in all the photos and shit. So it's like,
yeah, fair.
We'll just do photos of the three of us. It's all fucking boring music business stuff, really. But so the rotating bassist thing was good for a bit, and then I found out that's a fucking massive pain in the arse to rehearse all the time to learn the songs again.
True.
That was getting old.
You did that for like a year, you said?
I think so, yeah. But we didn't gig that often anyway. It was like a gig every month or two.
Yeah.
But that was good. The drummer Gavin had recently discovered fucking communism and white privilege and politics and current affairs, and was going down a rabbit hole, which he still resides.
Fair.
So he was probably getting less and less interested, and it was just fucking such a pain in the ass to get it off the ground, because I think once you've been banned for that long, it's hard to seem as fresh and exciting as a band that's just come out this year or whatever. Do you know what I mean?
I can see that. Yeah.
And yes, like just there was just things like the band name. There were some questions with that just forever. I'd go through phases of not caring about it and then caring about it again. And there was a few.
I didn't know where that came from before I started kind of research for this episode as well. I was Shocked.
Yeah, because I think, well, it is fine. Obviously, I wouldn't have gone through for 8 years if the band name was bad in any way.
Of course, yeah.
So the Rainbow Maniac is a serial killer
Yeah.
who specified in gay people in Rio.
Yeah. Specified like that.
Yeah,
Like a serial killer as a CV kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Specialise in gay people. But,
Yeah, that was his niche. And that was cool because we had Laura in the band who was gay and still is. And we was like, yeah, fuck you to the system. We're like, we're on the side of right, and we're using these terrible things to bring light to a better point of view or whatever.
Subverting it kind of thing.
Yeah. And that's all well and good until some fucker in a label doesn't want anything to do with you because of your name and that.
Did you have that as well?
If it did happen, then I wasn't made aware of it. These are all going on behind the scenes.
Yeah.
But no, it was just a few crutches, and the wheels sort of fell off a little bit. And that's pretty much it. Just too much hard work to keep you going for not enough payoff, really.
But it's the way with a lot of creative endeavours, I guess. Like it's so much effort for so little reward a lot of the time, especially in the early days. It's the same with this podcast and everything else I've ever done thus far, to be honest. Like, it's work for not much pay, you know what I mean?
Yeah, totally. Fucking being in a band is like the one job that brings in no income whatsoever, and
you have to pay
everything,
to do it.
Yeah, everything you do costs so much money, so it's fucking out there.
Yeah. Worth it though, somehow. I have no idea how, but it seems to be.
Yeah, the gigs and compliments were good. And I thought that I didn't really care about lockdown that much because I've been keeping on just doing stuff and doing more music stuff than ever and trying to better myself with trying to say like less and whatnot, doing some pull-ups. But then when I think about it, I think it has probably affected me more than I was aware of because I've not been given a compliment about my fucking playing and singing for 2 years now.
Shall I give you some? Shall I add some compliments? Yeah.
Fucking right. That'd be amazing.
Go on.
Yeah.
I think you're a good singer, man. I think you always reminded me of Julian Casablancas. You ever had that before?
Laziness. The lazy...
Kind of. Yeah. Like, it gives the impression that you don't care, but you can tell that you definitely do at the same time. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's awesome.
Like, yeah.
I think
it was proper rock and roll. I liked it a lot.
Yeah, that's awesome. Thank you very much for that. You didn't have to say that.
Here we are. That's deserved and genuine.
Unprovoked compliment. Yeah, that's great. I would agree massively, I guess. It was rocking. They were good times, good gigs.
Is there a highlight that comes to mind from the Rainbow Maniac days?
Well, like a day or
a moment or a day or an event. I don't know. Just anything that comes to mind that is, I don't know, encapsulates the good days of Rainbow Maniac.
Oh, there's one memory, but I don't know if I can say it because it's...
Just change the names.
Well, my drummer Jonathan.
Maybe change the role in the band as well.
Fuck. So this is not even because you'd expect me to say, "Oh yeah, this particular gig that was very big and very good and fucking sold out, whatever." But literally, the one thing that comes to mind is this one night in Plymouth when did a good gig at a fucking great night of drinking and partying and stuff. At one point, we were walking down the street and outside some bar or club or something, and Laura, who's always extremely clean cut and nice or whatever, just finished the bottle of wine because we were all swigging a bottle of wine each, and just fucking launched the bottle of wine behind her head. And then he just smashed, and we were like, "What the fuck was that? That's a bit out of character." And then the doorman that was right next to us was just like, "What the fuck are you doing?" And then it was because we were going to go in there, and he was like, "Well, you're not coming in here." And then we were like, "All right, fair enough." And then she was really apologetic and cleaned it up and carried on walking. That's not the story, by the way. That just happened. I came to him.
That was a good one.
But that, yeah, just it's hard to explain, but that was so funny at the time. Just fucking Laura, like the bassist, just fucking.
It's always the quiet ones, isn't it?
Just launched the bottle of wine. Anyway, so had a great night, and then there was chaos ensued in the night time. I had impressed a girl enough to go back to wherever she lived. That's fine. That's not part of the story. And then Laura and Gavin were at the hotel. And Gavin that night had kissed a girl and then went back to the hotel and felt so guilty because he was in the early stages of a relationship with his girlfriend. And then he told her, and then she went fucking mental on him. And then he felt really, just unbelievably bad because he really likes his girlfriend, so it's a big deal. And then he's kicking off. I wasn't there. I've heard this through hearsay.
Yeah.
And then punches a hole through the wall of the Travelodge.
Oh, God.
And then I don't know how they patched that up and them two went to sleep. That sounds so stressful. But anyway, so in the morning
I managed to patch up the wall.
No, I mean just the emotions.
Oh, I thought you meant the wall. I was like, yeah, just bust out the filler from the van.
Yeah, I don't know what happened
before
to that wall. That's the last I heard of it. But so in the morning, I'm just walking through Plymouth. Amazing day. Just taking in the sights. There's a cathedral. I'm looking in fucking shop windows at a picture of the Beatles when they were in Plymouth, and there's a picture of them there, and it's framed. And it's fucking lovely. And I'm like, oh, what a fucking great day to be alive. And then we meet up in the Chippy, and then everyone's just distraught because of, well, mainly Gavin is distraught. Yeah. And then we're just having like the best fish and chips you can possibly imagine. I'm like, fucking, this is fucking class. And then me, Gavin, and Laura drive. This story's fucking getting long as fuck. Sorry.
Oh, keep going, man.
So me, Gavin, and Laura are going to drive home, but we stop off at the seafront, like the
lovely
Plymouth fucking coastline. And it's amazing. It's such a nice day. I can't even describe it to you, right? And then me and Laura are like, should we gonna go for a walk up here? All right, Gav, is that all right? So do you want to come? He's like, no, fuck that. I'm just gonna stay here. So he's basically suicidal. And then we're like, right, I'm gonna head off over here. I had a fresh pack of cigarettes, which is always good. And then we were walking along this coastline. Then we just found this bar like on the cliff face with a blues guy playing blues on acoustic guitar with a great voice and great guitar playing. And they sold booze. So I got a pint of San Miguel. And then Laura had got a coffee and a cake. And then we just sat on just the most majestic waterfront vision you could imagine. And I was just, the contrast of Gavin being sat in the car with his life just crumbling into pieces, and me and Laura just sat there. It was unbelievable. And then at one point we were putting like the leftover crumbs of her little cake that she bought in our hands, and these tiny little birds that were just flying up sat on our hands eating the crumbs out.
Straight from your hand.
The fucking exasperation in your voice then was...
Oh, I was like this. I feel like it's like Snow White or something.
It was. It fucking
too good to be true.
Yeah, it was. I got a video on my phone. I'll fucking send it to you if you want.
Yeah? Sounds some proof.
Yeah, exactly. And just fucking pint. Especially now that we're in lockdown, thinking about this, it just seems like a fucking distant memory, a dream.
Yeah.
Pint of San Miguel, clickies, and birds eating cake out of your hands. Whew. The gig only had
much better.
No, the gig only had like fucking 18 people in it, but it was all worth it for that night and day. So good.
Yeah, class. I like that, man. I like that a lot. In your podcast, you mentioned briefly, tantalizingly, about a Clunk magazine interview.
Oh yeah, you're not aware of that?
No, I wasn't before you said it, and I was like, "Oh, that sounds interesting."
Did you dig it up when you were investigating?
I did, yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
no.
I went and read it, and it made me laugh. It was funny.
Good. That
'Cause
was my intention.
You were, they just hated you for some reason.
Yeah.
Well, I say for some reason, like you just completely shut down their questions straight off the bat.
I explained it in the Bees and Feelings, but then I cut it out because I thought I was waffling too much.
Right.
So I can try and say it again and
Condense it.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see. Well, I'm interested in it, no matter what. So yeah, go for it. Let's hear it.
Well, basically, it was me, Laura, and the girl interviewing us.
Yeah.
And all three of us are laughing at the tongue-in-cheek banter surrounding me slagging off the questions.
Yeah, yeah.
So I'm like, that is the worst question that bands ever get asked. And then we're all laughing, all three of us, having a great time. That just goes on.
That did not translate like to the written word at all.
Not at all.
No.
So that's going on for the entire interview pretty much.
Yeah.
And then it's over, shake hands, maybe a little hug. There's no fucking virus, so why not?
Yeah.
And then she then gives her little fucking voice memo, probably, to the editor of Clunk. Shouldn't even say their name because I don't want to give them any more fucking promotion.
Vile Clunk.
And then that person decides to leave out the bits about it being laughy and tongue-in-cheek and says, don't always meet people in bands, kids, because sometimes they're fucking absolute wankers.
So just took that angle on the whole thing instead.
Yeah, because that would got
Brutal,
more comments and clicks, which it obviously did.
Yeah, and it still is now because we're talking about it. So.
Exactly. So many comments of like that were so cutting towards me. Whew.
There was some backlash.
It was mental. I woke up to lots of notifications in that, and just many people just going in so hard, just like, oh, if he'd said that to me, I'd fucking knock him out. Like, fucking all right, steady on.
Oh God, calm down.
Fucking threatening to fight me, like, Jesus Christ, never intended for this.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was a massive arsehole, and I should have maybe had a serious go at him for twisting it, but I just took the other angle and was like, well, I was fucking charming, what are you on about? And it was just us versus them sort of thing, and just sort of added a bit of fuel to the flame, I guess.
Yeah, yeah.
In the end, there was a few people on my side, I guess, like the side of jokes and humour and stop being a twat, just saying that, yeah, it's just obviously you can't take a joke and your questions were shit and all those sorts of things. And then so there's a little bit of a tiny internet war.
Yeah.
It's
funny because when I was reading it, before I knew the whole kind of spin that was put on it afterwards, like I thought it was an interesting interview still. Like I thought the answers were decent. I kind of like I almost like you got me saying like now.
I'm sorry. It's a curse. No one needs that.
Like I think that artists and bands, especially rock and roll bands, are too nice a lot of the time these days. They're
totally
too
agree.
normal.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
100%.
Like I don't want to just see some normal person on a stage strumming a guitar. Like I want them to be larger than life, and I want them, to be perfectly honest, to be a little bit of a dick. Like, you know what I mean? Like the Oasis kind of days, Stone Roses, the people who are so ridiculously confident that like they're not like me. They're not like my pal or whatever.
Yeah.
But it's a two-edged sword. I don't want them to be too much of a dick, and I don't know where the line is. It's a tricky road to follow.
Yeah, 100%. I think I'd probably feel exactly the same way because I was raised on all that stuff as well, really. Like my early days was 100% Oasis and Noel Gallagher specifically. Stone Roses, and I loved all that. And I find it so fucking boring. Like particularly interviews with bands. I'd say local bands, but it's famous bands as well. And
It is, yeah.
Yeah, just and written interviews as well. Even less personality in a written interview.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's always been in the back of my mind. I think in an interview situation, I just want to say anything other than the very specific, direct answer to what the question is. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. And me as an interviewer, I always want to ask anything other than the bog standard expected question. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Where
Like,
did
I
the
don't
band
want to
name
ask.
come from?
Yeah, where's the band name come from? Well, even though we talked about it, but I feel like we put a spin on it.
Well, that's a band name that fucking requires a bit of explanation, to be fair.
A little bit, yeah. But yeah, it's probably intensified these days more by social media, I guess. Like everything being dissected, and you get crucified for saying the wrong thing, and that sort of phenomenon as well. But yeah, I don't know. So, are you doing? Let's talk about the solo stuff a bit more. Then, are you doing everything on it? Are you recording the instruments and stuff as well, or have you got a backing band, or what?
No, I'm not a fucking Jack White or
No.
Tame Impala or fucking Davey from Azuga. I am far too talentless to do that.
Just a lowly singer.
Yeah, well, I do all the demos myself. So what I sent you today,
Yeah.
some of those is all me.
Okay.
With a little bit of help from Nikki, who is that's the name of the drummer in Logic. She plays disco beats.
Good old Nikki.
And she has been my rock in this fucking lockdown. So she's playing the drums. Sometimes I get Ben from CVC, who lives in my flat.
Yeah. Right.
He's in the next room, actually.
Oh, hi Ben.
Yeah.
In the next room.
And what was the question? I'm not.
Oh yeah. Do you do everything?
No.
Yeah.
So I've recorded all the demos myself, and then for the recording, we are outsourcing each instrument to someone who is really good at that instrument.
Right. Cool.
The drums on the single are played by Luke Mark Hughes.
All right.
Who is really good, and I think he's drummed with Tom Odell and Lewis Capaldi.
Nice.
So a little bit of star power. I'll just fucking whack that in every press release and fucking bio to make people take me seriously.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's not worth listing everyone, but I've got a tight recording band, and then I've also been working on a live band, but I'm gonna wait until gigs are happening before I even start caring about that.
Yeah. So, are you like, say the doors of venues opened kind of next week or whatever? Would you be kind of ready to take this stuff on tour? Have you got material enough for a gig as Conor Latcham yet, or are you still kind of focusing on that single?
Focus on the single. I've got an album's worth of songs.
Yeah.
So yeah, but I'm not going to be looking to gig immediately anyway. I'd have to start fucking rehearsing for a start, and I'm quite enjoying doing all of the other stuff, because it's just so much fucking effort just to promote a single and to finish the demos for the rest of the songs. And
but even like outside of lockdown, there's tons of artists that just prefer being in the studio, prefer making music than the live stuff. Would you say you're one of them, or is it just a product of now?
Yeah, I'm almost definitely not one of those. And I do love gigging and finishing a gig and having a cigarette and receiving compliments and hugging people just and drinking.
Basking.
Yeah, basking in the moment, man.
Yeah.
But I'm just, because of my fucking one-track mind, I've just completely forgotten that I even enjoyed gigging. It's like when that's not happening, I don't even think about it.
Yeah, fair.
So yeah, it's a bit of a strange one. I don't know if everyone thinks like that or just me, but
I think everyone does at least time to time. Like I definitely do sometimes, but I guess it's dependent on what is going on. Like maybe you're lucky that you have something that's so engaging, other people might not, and then they get just lost in nostalgia and how things used to be. I don't know, just a theory, I guess.
True. And I'm also working as a postman all the time, so
Yeah, I heard you work as a postman.
yeah. So my life is pretty unaffected, to be honest. I struggled to get people out for a pint before lockdown anyway, so there's no change there really.
How's being a postman? Is it enjoyable or what?
Generally good, but so it's fine as long as you're left to just do your job. But, they've changed my start time to 1:30 p.m.
Oh.
So after 5 hours, which is my 5-hour day done.
Yeah.
After 5 hours, it's fucking 6:30 and it's dark. So I
That's
couldn't
mentally late.
I couldn't post if I wanted to because I can't see fucking anything.
Yeah. I've never had post that late. I didn't know postmen worked that late.
Yeah, some of us do.
Wow. This is eye-opening stuff, man. I don't know what you're talking about. It's boring.
Yeah, that is the same opinion that everyone I deliver to has. Because when I see them at 6 o'clock, they're like, "The fuck are you? We didn't know that post happened at this hour."
Yeah.
And I've got to explain it to everyone. Also, I've just been put on a walk, which is quite nice. But the person who used to be on it has gone, and he must have been a fucking massive legend. Shout out to Lewis from Royal Mail.
Lewis the legend.
Yeah, because literally everyone that I deliver to is like, "Who are you? Where's Lewis? Lewis
You're not Lewis."
Yeah, exactly. Like, and also, I kind of stopped wearing the uniform for a bit because I like fucking Adidas too much. So I'm wearing things that are more comfortable and better for me to strut about and deliver mail. And therefore, people just see this fucking twat in fucking joggers walking up to their house at 6, and they're like, "Who the fuck are you?" And they just think I'm a door-to-door leafleter. And so I just get stinking looks, and
So you're desecrating the holy name of Lewis. That's why.
yeah, I walk up with letters, and then there's someone on the doorstep giving me a stinking look, and then I'll be like, "Do you want that?" And by this point, I've probably got a stinking look as well because I fucking hate people looking at me dirtily. So I'm walking up and I hold the letters out, like, "Do you want that?" And then she's like, "No, what is it?" I'm like, "It's your letters." He's like, "Oh yeah, go on then." And then their tone changes a little bit, and that's quite satisfying for me. I'm like, "Yeah, fucking little did you know, it's like pulling off the mask. Aha, I actually am a respected fucking Royal Mail
I
delivery
have
man."
something you want.
Yeah.
That's hilarious. You ask them if they want their own mail. Do you want
Yeah.
that? I'd probably be like, no, most days, to be honest. It's all shite in my mail.
Yeah, I fucking hate mail. I for a while I just threw it straight in the bin. I didn't even open mail for a while. But then I threw something away that I shouldn't have, and since then I've been opening it again.
Yeah. Or it's a brown envelope that just terrifies me every single time because it's HMRC wanting money off me or some crap. I hate it.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I got paperless billing on everything. I don't understand why everyone's not doing that. Because when I go to as a postman, this is a very niche joke. This is just for the fucking postmen and women. But the one thing that you'll get literally many times a day is, "Oh, if it's bills, take it back. I don't want it." And you're like, "Oh, all right, yeah, just fucking have it. Just go on." And yeah, it's just all the time. But why are they not getting paperless billing? I don't understand. You didn't even need to see the bills. I don't even check my bills.
I don't.
They're going out. I'm not gonna. Yeah. I'm not going to call.
It's not like it gives me a choice to pay them or not.
Yeah,
like exactly. I still have to pay them.
Yeah,
so.
Exactly.
Yeah, I used to do Amazon Flex deliveries, which was real fun. So I understand your plight a little bit.
Nice,
but it wasn't every day. So yeah.
Yeah, I'm only 5 days
out there on the front lines.
Exactly.
Anyway, back to music. So the single coming out when? March
26th.
26th.
Yeah.
Do you think you're in love, right?
Exactly.
And I do like it.
Good.
Like, I've got to be honest, I don't have a huge interest in disco kind of music before this
cool.
or still after this. Like, it's not like you converted me to disco in one track, I'm afraid.
That's a shame. Objective failed, but carry on.
But it is good. It is good, and I do like it. And
would you say it's disco?
I would.
That's great.
I'm completely uninitiated in disco, I guess, but that's the word that comes to mind. That's the adjective I would use.
Great, because I was always worried that I aim for disco, and I'm always gonna fall somewhere between indie and disco, really.
Yeah.
So if I can, if that could be thought of as a disco track, then fucking mission accomplished.
Yeah, I certainly would. Yeah.
Amazing.
And you wanted to do a disco thing for a while, you said before.
Yeah, at the back end of RM, there was a few disco sounding tunes, like Tell Me Off and some others.
Yeah.
And it was always mega fun. And I wanted, when starting a fresh, clean slate, all that, to just have an easily distinguishable genre and sound. Because the fucking... just years of being in a band and someone asks you what sort of music do you play, and it's like, we're a bit rocky, a bit like this and that, but we don't like to be pigeonholed into any sort of sound, really. So like we're a bit like these guys, but it's a bit of our own take on it. And then by this time the person's fucking walked away.
Yeah.
And so I just
wanted
wanted
just written on a card, just like give it to them.
Yeah. So now I can just be like, disco. This is disco, baby.
I like that. Why disco? Surely it can't just be so you can say disco straight away. What drew you to disco?
I'm a big fan. I like disco. I like country. I like rock music and just great songwriting. But as a new artist, fucking disco guy or a group is such a fun prospect, I reckon.
Yeah,
it is
fun.
It's the most fun, enjoyable, upbeat thing to drink to, pre-drink to go out, dance to, sing along to, and then get back home and drink some more with disco. I'm assuming this is not what you're doing on a night out.
No, I don't even drink either, which is another...
What, never?
Never. No.
Did you?
Surprising, right?
Did you try it once? And then did you try it once and thought, this is not for me?
Not for me. No, never again.
Yeah.
Never again. Which is weird, working in a pub.
Mental. Well, that's extremely impressive. You're either fucking really smart or a damn fool.
I'll let you know when I find out which one.
Yeah, please do.
Yeah.
You'd be fucked on Beers and Feelings.
Yeah. Oh, is it compulsory? Yeah.
Yeah.
I have to be on the beers to get on.
Yeah, pretty much.
Bugger. I might make an exception then.
That'd be class. Just get wrecked with your tolerance being to the ground as it is.
Would make a good episode. So, honestly, right? Yeah. I interviewed. You know the band Ladybird?
No.
Band Ladybird. They play Le Pub a while ago. They're like Mates with Slaves and all that. And they've got a song called Love.
Right.
And I had some questions about that concerning love. And I never got to ask them.
Oh,
but then I thought, do you think you're in love? So I can just use my questions there.
Amazing.
Which is perfect. So they are second-hand questions, but they are perfectly for you as well.
That's great. I did the same thing once when I was trying to do a Q&A, and I asked people to send me questions. And then when no one did, I just got a bunch of questions that were meant to be for Ben Stiller off the internet and answered those instead.
I like it.
Yes, sorry to sidetrack you again. What are you saying?
All good, man. All good. So, love.
Yeah.
Do you think
I'm in love?
You're in love? No. Don't. Do you think love is primarily, it's a multiple choice question for you, right? Primarily A, emotional, B, chemical, or C, mystical?
Oh, fuck me. I have fucking absolutely no idea.
What do you think? No?
Say
I thought you would have thought about these things.
No,
No?
I used to think that love was just a word that you attach to what you're doing with a girl or a guy or anyone after you've been with them for enough time and you've like, well, we've reached this stage now, let's just start saying that we love each other. So I had a really clinical opinion on it for a while.
Interesting, yeah.
I don't know. Say the choice options again, sorry?
I've forgotten them now.
You've memorised all these questions. You haven't even got them written down?
No. Well, this one I haven't got written down. The other ones I have.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, what was it?
Mystical,
emotional, mystical, or chemical.
Well, it can't be chemical. That sounds like it defies science.
But like in terms of like it being just hormones and stuff.
Okay.
Like, is it just kind of evolutionary hormones attracting people together to continue the species, or whatever? You know what I mean?
No, I think that would cover love, because that just happens to most people on the street.
You think love's more than that?
Yeah, I guess so.
Gotta be. I don't want to influence your answer though, so I'll stay quiet.
I can't even begin to understand the question, let alone have a witty answer for it. Mystical.
Just simplify it.
Mystical sounds against science also, so let's just get rid of that one for now.
Sack it off, okay.
And what are we left with? Chemical.
Emotional. That's the last one.
Yeah, there we go. Process of elimination. Yeah. Emotional.
You think it's an emotion?
Fuck knows. I don't know what love means. I'm the last person you should ask about this.
Why? You wrote a track all about it. Well, kind of.
Well, I'm asking, do you think you're in love? So I'm the one asking the question. I don't know. I'm not saying
true.
I'm in love, or I know lots about love.
So writing a song asking about love didn't kind of spawn answers to that question in your mind?
No.
Just a track. Just a
straight up and down disco slammer
with the word love just happenstance in the chorus.
Love sells. I will write songs about love until the cows come home.
Fair enough. So love is a selling point, is the answer to the question, I guess.
Love is money.
Love is money. Cynical, but honest. I like it.
Nice. I'll drink to that.
You said at the start, though, that you used to think that love was just what you call it after people have been together for a while. Has that changed?
That was back when I used to think about things in my adolescence. Since then, I've streamlined my thoughts. And also, I thought I was in love. If I may have been in love once upon a time. I love you now, Ben.
Yeah.
But then that person turned out to be a bit of a cunt. So, where does...
I hate it when that happens.
Where does that leave you? I don't know.
Yeah. Fair. That puts a dampener on the whole love thing, doesn't it?
Well, that's my angle, baby. I feel like my...
Putting dampeners on love.
Yeah, my whole spiel is like the opposite of love songs, like anti-love songs. Do you know what I mean? So
you should call the album that.
What?
Dampener on love. I love it.
Yeah. That's not bad. I've got a few ideas of my own, but I'll keep that in mind. But yeah, let's fucking move on. What's the other questions you got? Actually, sorry, I should have expanded a little bit more on the previous point about my style, baby.
Singing style?
No, the whole love thing.
Just in general.
Right. It's because I thought about this quite a lot actually when I was trying to define what this fucking project is, like themes and lyrical points and the whole direction and idea of the brand and that. And I think it's a lot to do with love, but never actually achieving it, but more the pursuit of it and the fascination with it and
not actually attaining it.
And just songs about heartbreak and that in a more of a tongue-in-cheek comedic style.
Yeah.
Like Morrissey is always doing hilarious lyrics and also old soul singers like Al Green or many others that I can't think of because I'm on the spot. There's an Amy Winehouse interview where she's talking about old Motown songs where they're like, I'm heartbroken and I'm sad, like really self-deprecating and whatnot. Whereas nowadays, the modern pop song is like, fuck you, I don't need no man.
Yeah.
Like I can do anything on my own. I don't need anyone around me. Whereas back in the day, like in the 50s, 60s, it's like really open and honest and shit, which I've always tried to be a little bit. And combine that with a little bit of humour and comedy.
Yeah.
And that's getting close to what the brand is all about.
No, that's fair. That's fair. I wanted to talk a little bit about UFC as well.
Really?
Going completely off-brand, yeah.
Didn't expect that. I'm fucking far away.
Yeah. You a fan? Am I right in saying that?
Massive fan.
Me too. Massive fan, and I hardly ever get to talk about it. Is it just me, or is it like taboo almost in like musical circles? Like, I don't know anyone else hardly that is a UFC fan.
Yeah, that's a good point. Because I've got my friends from home in the group chat.
Yeah.
And Ben, who I live with. Again, other than that, it's not something that you just bring up to anyone.
No.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's not really. Which is weird.
It is weird.
Just me and my brother.
Yeah.
We're huge fans. Did you watch it on the weekend?
I did, yeah.
259?
Yeah, I lost 15 quid. Not
that
bad, really, but that's just what I lose every weekend, pretty much nowadays. Well, I had like six bets on, and they were all quite reasonable. There was a few little tiny accumulators, like 2 fight accumulators and stuff.
Yeah.
6 bets, all of them just fucking.
All of them
Lost. God. Ridiculous.
Did you bet on Izzy? Was he your man in the headliner?
I did actually, and then I wanted Blachowicz. How the fuck do you say?
Blachowicz. But
that's very, very good.
I lived in Poland. I speak Polish, but that's an
really?
advantage. Yeah.
that's amazing. But yeah, I wanted him to win, but I thought Adesanya was going to win, so I had my bets leaning towards Adesanya.
Yeah.
And I put one little bet on Blachowicz.
Yeah.
To win, but by TKO. So when he won on points, I lost everything.
Oh, nightmare! Even though you had it right,
which is classic betting, classic gambling. Just so unfortunate. Fucking that illegal knee. Where that came from?
Devastated, and he was winning. He was 100% winning as well.
Yeah, definitely. I almost definitely would have won something if that didn't happen as it did.
Brutal.
Just standard. I am losing bets, fucking on the reg.
The only safe bet was Nunes, I guess. That was just a foregone conclusion.
Yeah, and the odds were
nothing.
Yeah, nothing.
Yeah,
would have won back a few pence maybe.
Yeah,
but yeah, it was a little bit underwhelming, I guess,
considering how like stacked the card was and how excited I was. Yeah, it was a little bit. Yeah.
But that's almost always the way. I'm very rarely. Well, also because my nights are always tarnished with betting and losing bets. that plays a factor. But it's almost always a little bit underwhelming. The hype is what makes it really.
Yeah, the build up.
That's all part of the fun.
Yeah,
and that's why I like putting the bets on, because I've had a good 3 hours of fun before I've lost the bet.
Yeah.
It's all about the anticipation, which is a metaphor for life, really.
Yeah, true, man.
It's all about the journey, man.
Yeah. Have you ever won big on a UFC? Not big. Otherwise, you probably wouldn't be speaking to me. But any decent payouts?
I don't bet big enough to win big. It's literally just for that. I just have the feeling of winning something,
the thrill.
But exactly, a few weeks ago, I won 80 quid. I did put down fucking 30 quid. But that felt amazing.
Yeah.
And that's probably what led to me losing so much in the weekends. Just as leading up from then till now. Yeah, since that's fucking
overconfidence.
So yeah, I get one bet, and I had a little system, and I was like, it was the first time I'd thought of the system, and it came off in a big way, and I was like, well, that's it. I'm just gonna smash betting on UFC now forever, and then consistently lost every time since.
Bugger. Back to the drawing board then.
Exactly. And I won £30 once off a £10 bet. Rakic or Rocket.
Yeah.
And there's a video of it, of my my winning speech on my Instagram that I'm reluctant to delete because I'm just fucking drunk and it's really funny. I think so anyway.
But he was crap on the weekend as well, mind.
Yeah.
Completely underwhelming.
I'm usually too drunk when the fights come on to even
remember
it. Yeah, but yeah, that was only a 20 quid win, and I felt fucking amazing.
top of the world.
Yeah, it's mental. I'm so easily pleased. Win a bet, and I'm like, feel like a fucking king.
Class. Yeah, well, that was a little UFC detour for anyone who likes UFC, and if you don't like UFC, then oh well, you didn't pay to listen to this podcast anyway, so suck it up and enjoy it, I guess.
Yeah, fuck you.
Back to music. So you sent me those demos earlier. Are they demos that might end up on an album? Are they still in the works, or are they kind of just B-sides and stuff?
That's the album. There might be one or two changes once I get, say, 3 more songs or 5.
Yeah.
And then I could take out 1 or 2. But currently, that's the blueprint of the album.
Nice.
It's like 8 tracks or 7, I think.
Yeah. Because there was one on there that called "Be Yourself, Do Whatever You Want," which I've noticed is kind of your, I don't know, motto, slogan, send off, whatever you'd call it.
Yes, all those.
Yeah.
All those things are good.
Where did that come from?
Correct, 100% correct. I don't know. That was just when the project and the brand and all that was kicking off, and I was thinking of all these little ideas, and I wanted to have a message and just hammer home something and be just really get into something specific. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
so it's a post Rainbow Maniac thing. Yeah, it was never kind of around.
Yeah, never around then. That's like just my new Conor Latcham, be yourself, do whatever you want.
Yeah.
Catchphrase. Because I wanted the whole project to be sort of like a call to arms for any and all fucking freaks and weirdos, and not being ashamed of your colours and scars and whatnot. And I thought that summed it up well. Be yourself, do whatever you want. It's sort of lazy. It's a bit too conversational to be a really good catchphrase. It's hardly Nike, just do it. So I was running it by my friend, and they were like, "Just do whatever you want." What? Well,
that's it.
Why not just like go around fucking raping and killing people? Like, well, why you jump straight to that? Like, I'm not.
What is wrong?
I'm
with
not
you?
saying do that. I'm just saying do whatever you want, as in fucking watch the TV and have a glass of wine. And fucking, let's leave out the killing and rape.
Slightly less murderous for now.
Yeah, and yeah, I love it. I've got when I was painting my flat as a joke. Hilarious joke, just as something to do. It wasn't a joke. I painted the phrase "Be yourself, do whatever you want" on the wall.
Oh, I think I've seen that on Instagram. Is it on your Instagram?
Probably, yeah.
Yeah.
There's probably a few photos. Because I was going to do that while I'm in the early stages of painting, and then paint over it when I get to that wall.
Yeah.
But then I just left it on there as a bit of a like a bohemian fucking rock flat. And I genuinely think seeing that like every morning or every day gets in your fucking psyche.
Like a
It's
mantra.
That's a mantra. There's definitely words for it. And yeah, I think that subconsciously really gets into my head, and I think I treat myself more than I deserve because I've just got that fucking buzzing around in the back of my head.
Yeah.
Which is probably why I was drinking so much throughout lockdown, because I was like, fuck it, just be yourself and do whatever you want. Yeah, it's always a good excuse to do whatever you want.
Yeah.
If you're ever doubting yourself.
Yeah. I like it. I like it as a mantra. I like it as like almost like an antidote to modern promotion, the stuff that's inherent in promoting anything these days, because we're always like, oh, do this, go to this page and listen to this and give me money, but then at the end you can always be like, but at the end of the day, be yourself, do whatever you want. I quite like the yin and the yang of that, you know what I mean?
Yeah, fucking right, that's awesome. Yeah, because I do end posts with it an awful lot.
Yeah.
And it's, so if I am telling someone to watch the film reviews or Beers and Feelings, which is out on SoundCloud, or listen to the track and pre-save it on Spotify, then if I pop that on the end of it, it's a little bit like, oh, he's a nice guy. He doesn't really want our money or pre-saves that much.
Yeah.
But I do want your money and your pre-saves, by the way.
Really want it.
Particularly the pre-saves. I don't even care about money. Just get those fucking pre-saves in. The link is on my Instagram and Facebook.
It's your new favoured metric. Who cares about money? It's all about them pre-saves.
Exactly. It gives me energy. I feed off it.
Yeah. It kind of reminded me of Aleister Crowley as well, which is weird. I don't think I've brought up Aleister Crowley on the podcast before. You know him?
I don't know who that is.
He's widely considered to be the most evil man that ever lived. Which is...
Really?
Yeah.
Even more evil than Hitler?
Well, yeah. I guess in terms of actions, he can't have been. But he's like the archetypal evil man. Like he's...
I need to learn more about this person.
Jimmy Page was always banging on about him. He loved Aleister Crowley. He was like a black magic kind of Satanist, one of them kind of stereotypical, all in black, evil man. And his thing was, I wrote it down, there is no law beyond do what thou wilt. And that was his kind of motto, his saying, do what thou wilt.
So he was saying, be yourself, do whatever you want, even before me.
Exactly. Yeah. Just in like a 1800s kind of way.
Yeah.
Do what thou wilt.
That's class. I should check out an image.
Yeah.
Check out his face. Maybe it's like...
Check out Aleister Crowley. Maybe
I don't look like him, do I?
I don't know. I don't think so.
I don't look suspiciously like him. Like those time-travelling images you see where like Daniel Radcliffe is in a photo from the fucking 1800s or something.
Yeah.
Some shit.
I'd love it if... I really want to look now. I'm going to look. I'm going to break the fourth wall and look, and then I'm going to hold it up next to you and see if you look like him. Oh,
nice.
God, if that's actually him, you look nothing like him.
It was a long shot.
He's bald and scary looking. Like that.
Yeah, no chance. Not even if I had a bald head.
That can't be him. It might be him.
That looks like a new photo.
It does, doesn't it?
That looks HD. They weren't cameras in the 1800s, were they?
From as far as I know, not. Well, there we are. He does look
certainly not smartphones.
No. Anyway, what was I going to say? Oh yeah, it's just weird because that's written on one of the toilets in the pub. Do what thou wilt.
Ah.
Yeah, so that's why it was in my head when I read your kind of slogo as well. Slogo? That's not a word.
Slogo should definitely be a word.
Slogo. I'm not even the one drinking.
I was debating rolling a fag, but that's just too...
A step too far.
If
you want to do it, if you think it would add to your comfort, you should do it. Be yourself, do whatever you want.
Fucking hell, it keeps coming back. I'll probably be alright for a bit.
Yeah, I haven't got a huge amount of questions more anyway, to be honest. Is there anything that you want to specifically push before we call this thing a day? Other than the single. Not other than the single, as well as the single.
Well, if we're out plugging stuff already, then I'm definitely rolling a fag because I don't want this fucking journey to end just yet.
Okay. Let's not end it then. I'm going to have to chop things up anyway and move them about. So if we do, let's do the plug.
You've got enough content to end it there. That's confident.
Yeah. I don't care though, really. I do care, but I'm confident that we've had a laugh. We've had a good, interesting chat. We've talked about some Rainbow Maniac. We talked about UFC. That covers about 4 different interests. So I'm hoping that at least 4 people will listen. And then I'm happy.
I'll get 3 to listen. So
sick. So I only need 1, and then I'll be happy.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. I'm getting this fucking fact.
Yeah, go on.
So while I'm doing this,
yeah.
Do you want to tell me some of your favourite Le Pod moments from recent episodes?
Favourite Le Pod moments? Well, it's a weird one, because I've only ever recorded 1 episode face-to-face so far, like in person. So,
oh, right.
Like,
I was going to say
all the others have been like this, which is weird. I guess it's not that weird, but it's weird for me to think that at some point I'm going to have to go back to physical kind of in-person interviews. And I don't know how I feel about that, because I'm not as experienced as I would like to be. doing it that
Why
way.
don't you just fucking do it this way if you prefer it?
Yeah.
Be like, I know we can see each other if you want to, but I don't want to. It's just so much easier.
Yeah, I could do. Yeah. Oh, back to disco music for a sec.
Yeah, sure.
Firstly, would you classify Daft Punk as disco? And secondly, what do you think about them splitting
Yes.
up?
I would say yes to them being disco,
Yeah.
but I'm not a fucking expert really.
Well, you're
But
the only
they're-
expert
they're-
I've got right now, so I'm relying on you.
Yeah, fucking right. They're in my disco playlist, so
That's official.
they're getting a disco thumbs up from me.
The disco nod.
Yeah, and I was aware they split up, and I felt absolutely nothing.
Really? Didn't
Yeah, I was
occupy a
never-
big place in your heart, did they?
No, I heard a few tunes and think that's a fucking banger,
Yeah.
but it's not like my childhood love interest.
No. Fair.
No.
I thought it was good timing for you, at least. So there's a big old gap in the disco market, so...
Yeah, fucking right. It's perfect, actually.
Mm.
I'm ecstatic they've broke up now.
Yeah, there we are. So if they're not your disco hero, who is?
I need to fucking revise for questions like this because I'm shit. I've got an amazing disco playlist that everyone should follow, by the way, on
Yeah.
Spotify.
Yeah.
And it's got loads of artists on it, but they're not really big names, the people that have written the biggest disco songs.
No.
There's like Diana Ross and Sister Sledge and that loads of Chic.
Mm.
Parcels are a current disco band.
Yeah.
Modern contemporary disco. They're fucking awesome.
Yeah.
But other than that, there's loads of just names I've never heard of. But but you've heard of the song, like the massive famous songs
Yeah.
with really a random artist you didn't know existed. So yeah, or I'd be better off just directing you to this fucking playlist.
What's it called?
It's called Connor's Discovery.
Connor's Discovery.
Disco in Discovery is capitalized. Get it?
I like it. I like that.
Yeah. And then there's a little gi emoji, a little karate suit.
Oh, got it. There it is.
Fucking right.
Busted. Busted the first track.
Forget the order. I've not yet done the order properly. But that song is class.
Busted. I didn't even know they did a
It's
disco
very
track.
it's very Daft Punk. It might not even be classified as disco, but I've put it on there for fun
Yeah.
and bands.
I was going to play it, but then we'll probably get like busted for copyright or something. Busted.
Was that
Shocking.
intentional?
No, it wasn't. I don't know if that makes it better or worse. Probably worse.
I think it makes it worse. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, some Jamiroquai. Jamiroquai would be well up there for me.
Yeah, fucking right. To be fair, the first quarter of that is a little bit random and messy. The later stages are hardcore disco classics.
Skip to the end. Parliament. Yeah. Commodores. Oh yeah, and then there are a lot of people that I've never heard of. Fair enough.
Be a whole podcast in itself, just fucking reviewing.
Just
disco
going through
classics.
yours. Disc. Track by track. Class. I'll have to listen to that. So what not were, it's not past tense, like your influences, your kind of more rock and roll influences from the Rainbow Maniac days. And has that kind of carried over at all?
A little bit. When I started off, I was just big into lad rock.
Oh yeah?
Oasis, fucking Kasabian, I guess. Arctic Monkeys was, and kind of still is, my band. Like, if bands were football teams, Arctic Monkeys is my fucking football team.
Yeah, my team.
It's just, I can't fault anything they've ever done, and I think the music's amazing.
Yeah, not even their last album. You're a fan of that as well? The controversial, whatever
Yeah,
it's
big
called,
fan of it.
Moon Hotel thing.
Tranquility Base.
That's the one, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, big fan. It took me a few listens. At first I was like, what is this? Am I my ears deceive me, or is this bad? Is this shit?
Cannot be.
And then after yeah, and after a few listens, I got right into it. So
Yeah.
if you just listen to something enough times, you're gonna like it.
Just force
essentially.
yourself.
But yeah, so lad rock was my jam. Pete Doherty and Baby Shambles and the Libertines, well into all that.
Yeah.
I've had a few big phases. I'll just rinse one artist, everything they've made for ages, and then move on. So I've had a Father John Misty phase, massive Eminem phase.
Oh wow.
Big fan of gangster rap, and
You can tell.
my current phase is can you tell?
No.
I'm pretty gangster.
It's the Adidas. That's what it is.
Yes, quite gangster indeed. But and then my newest phase is Josh Turner, country and western star.
Was that ever a contender for your chosen genre if it wasn't disco?
I got heavily into country after deciding on disco, so I'm like, fuck, I'm already contracted into disco now. But yeah, it's going to be party time when lockdown closes. So disco is going to be much more appropriate than country.
No, I will.
When you're driving to work, you can't just blast Nile Rodgers and Chic all day every day. You need to tone it down with a bit of country every once in a while.
If anything, it's a return from work kind of music. Like you're happy your working day is done. Chuck on some disco. I reckon anyway.
Yeah, Friday night.
Yeah, the week is done.
After I've finished posting at fucking 6:30 and it's fucking pitch black.
Can't believe that. Still getting over that. Postman at 6:30. Oh. What?
Yeah.
Yeah, because you've messaged me a couple of times at like 3 a.m. I'm like, I'm sure he's a postman. Isn't he going to be up in like 2 hours?
Yeah, that's true. What I do is I seem to get really drunk and then become really productive.
Yeah.
And I'm doing loads of stuff, and I'll message people, even though I'm aware it's not social hours. But it's still it's only Instagram, so it's not like
true.
I'm not like texting you personally or calling you.
Yeah.
So I think Instagram Messenger, that's all right. I can do that whenever I want.
It's acceptable. Yeah.
And then the other person can then reply whenever they want. I'm not expecting a reply immediately. Obviously, I'm not like sat by the phone fucking waiting for you to get back to me. Oh, he hasn't fucking replied. What's he doing, man?
Rude.
So I'll get really drunk, get really productive, message loads of people. Also, I'll get really passionate and excited and come up with elaborate ideas when I'm pissed.
Yeah.
And then I'll message all these people. Then in the morning, I'll feel ashamed, obviously, but I've already messaged people.
It's done.
So what's done is done.
Yeah.
And then I get roped into these commitments, which I wouldn't have done usually, because I was so drunk and had less inhibitions.
Yeah.
Which is a fucking great system, I think.
I reckon.
It really helps. Like,
Yeah.
obviously, I could just be more confident and do all this shit at normal working hours, sober.
Yeah, I guess so.
But
it's like your version of Fight Club. It's like your drunk self is like your, what's his name? Tyler Durden.
Tyler
Durden, that's the one, yeah.
Fucking
You're just
right.
going out there, like, destroying and creating fight clubs, and then when you wake up, you've got to go along with it. Got no choice.
Exactly.
Yeah. I like that. That's a good analogy. That works.
Also bringing it back to films.
Exactly.
That ties into this
Film
whole
reviews.
brand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Always been a big film fan?
Yeah, massive. I worked in Cineworld Cinemas for a few years, and it was a great job, really.
Oh, yeah.
Terrible.
The one in
pay,
Cardiff?
obviously. Yeah.
Nice.
It was like my home away from home. I'd get drunk and sit in a screen on my own, never pay for films.
I had a similar phase. I had one of them cards, the all-you-can-eat cinema card thing.
Cine cards.
That's the one. So I was always there. Yeah.
Amazing.
Class.
I had a massive argument with my girlfriend once, and I was incredibly drunk after a previous night and then that day, and I was just felt terrible. I drank a bottle of Lambrini on my own in a screen watching a film. Forget what it was.
In Cineworld.
Yeah. When I was working there.
Nice.
And then the person who was cleaning the screen, I knew him well. He was like my friend.
Yeah.
Ish. We were acquaintances. I felt we were friends anyway. And then he comes in and he gets the managers to like, because I fell asleep. Sorry, did I mention that?
No, didn't say that. Fell asleep.
No. Yeah, so I'm walking up by a manager. I'm sat with my arm wrapped around a fucking bottle of Lambrini that's got a bit left. And I'm like, oh shit, sorry, yeah, I'm leaving. And then I caught him, pulled him one side. I was like, Huel, what are you doing? Just give me a nudge. You don't need to get the fuzz involved.
That's brutal, man. That is brutal.
But yeah, my Cineworld, my home away from home, and had some fucking great days. You ever seen the film Kubo and the Two Strings?
No, I haven't. Is that animated
it's like Yeah, it's like stop motion.
Yeah, I haven't seen it.
Really, really good. Watching that, I bought a bottle of wine and drank it during the film. That was the first time I got drunk in the cinema, and I've never looked back. It's amazing.
A wondrous journey.
Amazing. It's such a great feeling. I feel like I've been praising alcohol a bit too much this podcast.
Be yourself, do whatever you want, isn't it?
Exactly.
Yeah. Why does it kind of enhance the experience for you?
The further I get into this sentence, I'm going to just realise that I'm basically an alcoholic. But it's probably the same for everyone, to be fair. But getting a bit drunk just makes me feel more passionate, more interested, more focused, more...
Focused?
Focusing on like ideas and themes and thoughts.
Yeah.
And I can think... I've romanticized everything way more, and just I feel a bit more philosophical and spiritual and carefree and happy and just good in every way, up until a point, and then all bets are off.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
I think like obviously drinking to excess is bad and it shouldn't be promoted, but drinking is quite good. Like there's a lot to be thankful for in a way. Like some of my best nights and a lot of people's best nights had a bit of alcohol involved. Like not you got to be steaming to enjoy yourself, but having a beer with a friend at a wedding or something.
Yeah.
And you can open up to people a little bit more, even though that's a little bit shameful. You should be open all the time anyway.
Yeah, I know what you mean, man. Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, I feel I've got a bit of a respect for alcohol and a bit of a love, should we say, bringing it back to the single.
Do you think you're in love? By Conor Latcham.
I guess so.
There we are. Yeah, I'd have to agree. As purveyors of alcohol and fine wines at the pub, I couldn't disagree. Yeah.
Yeah, you'd be out of a fucking job.
Exactly. Pays my bills. Can't argue.
Puts wine on the table.
Yep. Other people's tables, and then money in my pocket, which is nice.
Exactly. Yeah. A question I had for you,
Go on.
Ben. You know the scratch card thing you've got on Instagram for your guests that come up on the pod, which I very much like, by the way.
Thank you. Yeah.
What have you thought of what my little facts are yet?
I was literally thinking of them before you popped up on screen. That's what I was kind of looking for. So,
really?
No, I haven't yet. I usually come up with them on the fly. But I was thinking, obviously, something vaguely to do with Rainbow Maniac. Then something to do with the podcast. The final one was going to be something to do with the single. And then I just need a third one.
Interesting, because I know the ones for Himalayas and that are very impressive with their fucking millions of streams and whatnot. I haven't got many accolades that you can add on to the scratch card. I did complete Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets on PS2 in under 24 hours when I was a child.
And he says he doesn't have accolades.
Yeah,
yeah.
And my grandfather made me a little certificate, printed one off for me.
For that same achievement?
Yeah, completing Harry Potter Chamber of Secrets in one sitting, in under a day. I've got it in my fucking scrapbook somewhere.
Was that your first run through, or did you have like a practice run through and then
I'd completed
time trial?
many times before that. Yeah. I was well trained.
A big fan of the Harry Potter universe? Are you
massive fan?
Yeah.
One of my biggest interests in terms of films and fantasy.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of world building, I've realised.
Oh,
I think
yeah.
that's what I like in films. So Lord of the Rings, Harry Potter, even fucking John Wick is pretty world building.
Yeah,
because
true.
they've got their
At
own
this stage.
they got their own currency, and
Mm.
it's got underworld of assassins, and it's proper. There's loads of little niche things that they do, like the little code words for everything, and
Yeah,
it really sets a fucking vibe, man.
yeah. Game of Thrones? Does that count?
Yeah, I did smash it.
Yeah.
Obviously, like most people, like I was a bit disappointed with the last 2 seasons, particularly the last one.
To say the least. Yeah. Oh, it's such a shame as well, man. Like, lockdown would have been the perfect opportunity to just rinse Game of Thrones again. But I'm just like, what's the point? What is the point?
I know, it's fucking in the last season, they just for some reason really amped up the clothes, like the fucking fashion design.
Yeah.
Like the wardrobe person just went mental. Everyone was dressed like all their wardrobe was from fucking All Saints. Like everyone starts wearing jet black, like really amazingly fitted clothes with little stars and silver buttons and stuff.
Yeah,
it was like this. No one was this fashionable back in this imaginary year, wherever this is set in.
Back in the day.
Yeah.
That's weird. Yeah. Probably had budget left over. I'm just like, right, well, this series, no one's going to like it, so we're never going to make any more. So let's just go for it. Blow it all on. Yeah.
Got enough budget for 3 amazing seasons. Let's just do one terrible one. Yeah, do one. All the CGI, all the clothes. We'll spend all the money.
Everything. I want more dragons and leather jackets than you can possibly imagine, please.
And then less writing, please. There's no time for that. Let's just get to the end.
And we'll pay you for that as well. We'll pay you by how bad each episode is. There we are. That's the deal for this series.
I think the writers were in a rush to get off and
Sort off to Star Wars.
Yeah, was it? And the Avengers, maybe.
Oh, I meant Avengers as well.
The Russo brothers, I think, yeah.
Because they...
If that's completely wrong, I apologise, because I'm going to sound like a fucking dick.
No, I'm sure it was Star Wars. At least the Star Wars... It might have been Avengers as well. But they got booted off Star Wars then as well, I'm sure. So they, like, completely ballsed up Game of Thrones to go and write Star Wars, and then they didn't even get Star Wars, which I thought was kind of cosmic justice.
Yeah, definitely.
Good, they deserved it.
Yeah.
But George R.R. Martin needs to get a wriggle on as well. Like, he's going to be dead before he finishes this thing.
Yeah, he's writing his own, isn't he? Which is confusing.
Which is weird. Yeah.
I'm not a big reader, so I'll be fucked trying to get through that.
No? Have you read the Harry Potter books, at least?
I did, actually, in college. Read them.
Yeah.
Probably the only books I've read. Nowadays, I listen to audiobooks because when I'm posting, I can listen and digest stuff.
Oh, nice.
And my concentration levels are fucking shot. I don't know why or how, but I can't read. After one sentence, my brain just thinks, "Oh, that looks pretty shiny over there," and then I forget. I forget what I've just read, and I've got to read it to the same page 5 times before it sinks in. And by that point, I'm like, "Oh, fuck this! I can't be asked."
Yeah. The audiobooks don't have that effect. They kind of grab your attention more.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm kind of the opposite, which is weird. I don't know. Audiobooks don't engage my imagination as much as written books for some reason.
I think I'd be in trouble if I didn't have my postman job. Because when I'm doing stuff, I can listen to stuff. But if I was sat in the flat, I wouldn't just have an audiobook on. Because I'd be, well, I can't do this. There's TV right there, and there's so many things I need to be doing.
Yeah.
I can't just sit here and listen to something. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's been quite a blessing, this job. I can listen to loads of podcasts and audiobooks, and it's fucking great. I feel like I've aged about 10 years in the last 1.5 years just listening to stuff. I've forgotten it all, obviously, but in the back of my brain, I'm aware of all these things, and it's enriching, I think.
My long-term memory is shocking, man. I'm sure it didn't used to be this bad. I blame school. Like, my brain is now just kind of molded for short-term memory, for exams and all that crap. And I can't remember anything long-term anymore.
Yeah, same. There's too much shit going on. I can't keep hold of information unless it's absolutely necessary.
At this
Like,
moment.
Exactly. And
Yeah.
I'm trying to fucking learn loads of things about the music industry so I can have a good crack at it.
Yeah.
So I just forget things immediately unless it's essential. I've been walking to my friend's car, and I'll go walking towards the wrong car, and he's like, "I don't drive a fucking BMW." I'm like, "I don't fucking know, do I? I stay in my lane, man. I don't know what fucking make your car is."
I just know we needed a car. That's it.
Yeah. You had a similar coloured car. This is probably it.
So, like, are you kind of trying to do? Well, not trying. Are you doing everything in terms of the new stuff, music stuff, like in terms of release and promo and everything? Is it all you?
Yeah. Well, it's coming out on Trident Records,
Okay.
which is was a record label in the 60s, I think, and they worked with or signed Queen, which is massive.
Nice.
And then Queen went on to a different label and made it massive. And then, but yeah, it was a thing. It was mainly a studio, I think. And someone I've been working with, Grant Tilbury, has reformed it with a team of people, and they've got the rights to the name and the logo, and they've got someone that used to be involved again, and
Nice.
so they're like launching that with a bunch, like eight new acts, and I'm one of them. And
That's awesome.
yeah, so I think the mixtape, which is one song from each act, is out March 26th.
Okay.
And they're doing PR, so hopefully it'll be synced and maybe get on some TV and adverts and stuff, and also on radio. And I'm doing everything else I can on the side, just my own bit of PR and
Yeah.
all the social media stuff. And yeah, it's good. I love just being in charge of everything, because it's fucking tricky in a band when you try and delegate a job for everyone, and then you walk away from a meeting and no one will do anything, including yourself. And then it's like, oh, for fuck's sake. It's like, it's easy to not do something when you're dividing up the responsibility, whereas if I don't do something, it's never going to get done.
Nothing happens. Yeah.
So yeah, it's really cracked the whip, and I love it. Really happy with how everything's going and the way social media is looking. And also, I can speak and just say whatever I want on social media, whereas when you're in a band, you can't really do that, because you've got to think about, is this opinion speaking on behalf of everyone in this band?
Shared by everyone.
Yeah, so now fucking Conor Latcham being himself, doing whatever he wants all the time.
Unleashed.
Yeah, Conor Latcham Unleashed. That's really the name of the album.
Do you find it like daunting at all? That like it's obviously it's good that it's kind of your baby per se, but is it like daunting that it's all on your shoulders as well? Kind of win or lose, it's all you.
A little bit, but yeah, I love that. When I first started the fucking project, this fucking like 2 years ago, I was like, right, I've got no band, I've got no team around me, I've got no money, and I've publicly announced I'm doing disco now, and I've got to fucking write 15 disco songs. And I literally had to figure out how to write a disco song, because if I was to sit down with a fucking guitar, it's going to come out like Sunset.
What you know.
Rainbow Maniac song. Like sort of pop, indie rock ballad sort of thing.
Yeah.
And I'm like, fuck, how do they even do that? And I got there's certain things with rhythm and singing verses to a rhythm, it's really choppy, and having to write with Nikki, my trusty and loyal drummer on Logic.
Did she give much input or?
By my side. She's the fucking best. I had nothing, and I was driving either to or from work with just no songs, and I was like, fucking Jesus Christ, what am I doing? Or the first night I sat down trying to write a disco song, and I was like, oh my God, I'm not going to get anywhere. And it was a real fucking moment. But after a couple of songs came out, I feel loads better, and it's fucking exciting, man. Really excited.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. I'm excited too. I'm always excited. Like, even if and I've already said that I like the music, so this doesn't apply here, but even if I don't like the music of an artist, I'm still excited for them to get their stuff out there, you know what I mean? Like, it's an exciting process. It's cool. So before you kind of decided on the solo project and at the end of Rainbow Maniac, was there ever a point where you didn't want to pursue music anymore, or do you think you were always going to do something else in the music world?
Yeah, it was never really a question. I think about it from time to time, but it's only for a moment, because there's no other option really. I've put all my eggs in this basket now.
What do you mean by that?
I've spent all this time getting good at writing songs.
Yeah.
And I'd be fucked trying to pursue something else.
Yeah.
And I think deep down it is my passion, even though at times it feels like I don't give a shit about anything, and I could happily just do anything and get on with it.
Yeah, because you said yourself you're kind of in the moment, just enjoying what's going on at the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's the only thing I'm good at, really. So
Yeah.
this is my thing. I had something else to say, but I've forgotten it. Maybe say the question again and try and like fucking reboot my thought process.
Yeah, so when Rainbow Maniac ended, and before you decided to be Conor Latcham, the solo disco genius, was there ever a time that you were going to exit music, that music wasn't on the cards?
No. I haven't got anything extra to add to that.
Just one word answer. No. This is it. Didn't want to go back to Cineworld.
Well, I was fired from that, so there's no going back to that.
Did the Lamborghini thing end in firing you?
No. To be fair, I quit.
Worse than that.
But I was on the verge of getting fired because I was on my phone. Don't ask me how that works.
They're going to fire you for being on your phone?
Yeah, I was on my phone. They took my phone off me like I'm a fucking child. And then I had a meeting which was recorded. You know, when someone's got to write down everything you're saying.
Yeah. Formal warning or whatever.
And because it was so fucking ridiculous and pathetic, I didn't take that seriously. And I said something along the lines of, I apologise for being on my phone. I flew too close to the sun on wings made of wax. But now my wings have been burnt and I will never fly again.
You said that in the meeting?
Yeah. I've got the notes,
the record
somewhere.
of it.
Yeah, I've got that somewhere. And I think after that, the new manager was trying to prove some sort of dominance, and he then tried to throw me down the ladder of things you've got to do to be fired, and get me fired. And I luckily got a job in a British Gas call centre, which I absolutely fucking hated. And I quit after 6 months.
6 months, not bad. I've said in a previous episode that I lasted 3 days in my call centre job. So again,
really?
You beat me.
Yeah, fuck me. It was a fucking tough time. It was one of the worst jobs I've ever had, and that's saying something. And and I had just been through a terrible breakup, and my girlfriend was having sex with my very close friend. And I was like, so I'm doing this job, which I hate, and this is going on. Fuck me, what am I going to do now?
Ugh.
And a few good songs came out of it, though.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah.
And but yeah, fucking got through it in the end. And went on to a job which I hated even more. In Starbucks in a Cardiff hospital.
You hated that more than the call centre?
Well, the Starbucks is alright, but they shifted me on to this little fucking sandwich stall called OFC, Original Food Company, and it was a fucking tiny box with me and 4 other fucking idiots. And it was terrible. And after that, I went on to be a postman, and that brings us to the end of my life story.
There it is. Nice. Postman is the best job so far, then, other than
definitely.
Yeah,
exactly. It's very good. It's very good. Yeah, driving away from the Starbucks job into the postman job was like driving through the fucking gates of heaven. And I might have had a little tear in my eye saying that.
Yeah.
That's how much I hated the Starbucks job. I was genuinely depressed. And it felt amazing. I also had like 3 weeks off in between the jobs, so I was like, 3 weeks off, paid, into a job that I don't absolutely despise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's brutal, man, that how many people hate their jobs and therefore hate so much of their lives.
Yeah, 100%. I think about it all the time.
It's brutal. Yeah, it's horrible. I had this thought the other day that I think the concept of owning a house and like or a flat, whatever, an abode, place that you live, and like how it's like everyone's dream to like own their own house is just pushed on us by like employers just to make us work. Like it's slavery. Like you have this house that you cannot afford. Like you're never going to be able to afford it, and you're going to have to work every day of your life to be able to pay for it. And you just have to work for me now forever. But you really want this house, so you're happy, even though you won't be. It's all a conspiracy. It's modern slavery.
Yeah, it's fucking rough. Like we, as a modern civilization, think that we are super
enlightened
and better than people that live in a tribe or whatever. But
Yeah,
they've got it right, because they're working 20% of the time to get food and whatnot, and the rest of their time is spent with family and friends and doing stuff they want.
Yeah.
Whereas we're working 70% of the time. Some of us jobs that we fucking despise, and that's not even
too many of us.
That's not even like a really good, well-paid job. That's just the bottom shit job.
Yeah.
And like commuting, fucking some people hours, an hour or 2 hours a day.
Yeah, in like standstill, hellish traffic.
Yeah, fucking absolutely mental. That's why I always think that I'm just really happy to work 5 hours a day, postman, making just enough money to pay for my flat and my wine, because
flat and my wine.
I'll happily sacrifice that extra bit of money to have the extra time to do things that I love, like talking to you on podcasts.
Oh, lovely. But I agree 100%. Yeah, like it's a trade-off that I am not willing to do. Like I won't trade my life and my happiness for a nicer car or a nicer house or more stuff that I don't need.
Yeah, totally.
You know what I mean?
I get told by fucking partners, like, why don't you get a better job or more hours or whatever? It's like,
no.
If you'd worked in that sandwich stall or worked in British Gas, that was 40 hours, and just be depressed, I'll happily take this 5-hour day job any day.
Any day, yeah. Do you ever feel like having a foot in the music industry is a little bit like a life's lottery card? Like having, like, you know, you've got something there that you might eventually win big in. Like you might eventually write that one song that's going to change everything.
Yeah, 100%. That's exactly what it is. But saying that, just having the band, having the fucking lottery ticket, like that's already winning. Do you know what I mean? Like being in a band and striving for something is the achievement. It's like, it's not as if when I become successful, notice that I said when.
Not if. Never if.
So when I become when, let's be modest, I become...
Oh, no, don't go back. It's when.
But I'll listen back to it and be like, oh, you sound like such a fucking penis saying that. So if and when everything goes great, it's not as if I'll be like, there we go, open the gates, this is happiness now. Now I'm happy. There's a very high chance I'll have exactly the same demons I've got right now.
Yeah.
And lots of things will remain unchanged. So just having music, putting things out, getting positive feedback. That's it. That's the goal achieved, basically. But you've got to keep doing it. I can't just be like, well, that's good now, I'm done. But yeah, it's doing it is the achievement, not necessarily getting X amount of followers or sales or being signed or whatever. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I would say that
I could
because
not
I'm
agree
fucking
more.
unsigned and fucking eating a fucking pot noodle.
And enjoying it though, importantly.
I did enjoy it.
Feeling like it's an achievement.
Yeah. I it was great. I loved that pot noodle.
Yeah. Final question then. What flavour was the pot noodle?
It's a terrible fucking question to end the podcast.
Whoa, I'm not Clunk, right?
No, I know. I was referencing the clunk conversation that we had. It was chicken and mushroom. I used to have
I like it.
Bombay Bad Boy for a while, but it's a bit too intense. I've matured now.
It's for a cold day, a Bombay Bad Boy, in my opinion.
Yeah, I needed to eat something so that I could enjoy this bottle of wine with you, and not feel like I'm getting ridiculously drunk, scarily fast.
Class. Well, I think we should end it there. I'm confident that this is going to be a good episode. I don't know why it is going to be. Is a good episode.
Fucking right. It's 2 hours of chatting that.
Yeah, that's not bad. It flew.
So when you edit out all of my nonsense, let's say it's
45 minutes.
25 minutes. The listeners will know that it once was 2 hours, so you'll know that there's been an hour and 40 minutes of utter shite cut out.
Just left on the cutting room floor. Nice one, man. Thank you very much for joining me and joining us and joining anyone who might be listening.
Thank you, and thank them.
Give it a plug. Go on. One more with meaning, with feeling.
Do you think you're in love? Out on March 26th under Trident Records. Be yourself, do whatever you want. Pre-save on Spotify now.
Yes.
Was that better to do a jokey one than to do a really sincere one? So I do a sincere one, and you can just edit it together. you can choose whichever one you want.
Let's do it back to back. I'll just splice it in, like the Spotify adverts where they just pop in at like the most annoying time.
Do you think you're in love? Out on March 26th under Trident Records. Be yourself, do whatever you want. Pre-save on Spotify now.
Yeah. I'll just pop it in.
Yeah.
And pretend that it's a real advert where it's just me chucking your voice in.
Right at the middle of one of my fucking captivating stories when you really want to know the ending.
Right in the middle of the pot noodle question.
Oh yeah, everyone's waited with bated breath to find out that answer to that question.
Mm-hmm.
Another thing, fucking while on the subject,
Go on.
I've realised this recently, which is a good little bit of advice for your listeners, both of them. My advice on plug-in. A lot of people, when you say plug stuff, it's so fucking boring, and they just say, "I've got a single out. It's called Do You Think You're in Love? It comes out March 26th." One might say, under Trident Records.
For example.
Yeah, for example, under Trident Records, and it's got Lewis Capaldi's drummer, and it's fucking great. They say that, but I fucked that up by explaining why it's good. My point was that no one's explaining why it's good. Do you know what I mean? So say you've got someone on, I've got a single out, pre-save it, and the listeners are thinking, all right, fuck you.
Why?
Yeah, why?
Yeah.
Yeah. But the trick is you've got to give someone a reason as to why it's good. And the pros do that, do they? Like fucking Joe Rogan or whatever. When they're getting really into plugging, like plugging a drink, it's like, oh, it's a great drink, it cools you off on a hot summer's day. And it goes really hard on it. And I was like, fuck yeah, I've been plugging stuff so badly for so long. Just, oh yeah, I'm in a band and got a single out, got a video out. It's like, no one cares, mate. But then if you were to, say, it's the fucking genuinely fantastic modern disco classic. And
that'll get people listening.
Maybe, hopefully. And then...
Hopefully.
Yeah, I'm not going to give my example of that because I haven't thought about it enough and it's going to be shit. But that's the idea, is what I'm saying.
Yeah. I like it. That makes perfect sense, yeah.
Yeah.
I think it might be...
It's not a revelation. It's just something that
No.
I thought about that is very common, I think. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Not giving people a reason why to listen.
Yeah, maybe it's more common in unsigned or local bands or whatever. But even famous bands, I don't know.
Yeah. Do you reckon that is more like it's other people's responsibility? You know what I mean? Like you put out the stuff and then other people kind of review it, whether that be magazines or podcasts or like your friends, and then they say, "Oh, this is class," and then that's how it's kind of pushed.
That would be ideal. But
would be ideal.
In my experience, no one gives a shit, especially anyone with any influence or power. So you got to fucking do the work yourself. Yeah,
that is the truth. Yeah.
But I've got no accolades to prove that any of this advice is worthwhile. So we'll have a follow-up podcast once this is all hit the ground running and it's all going well, and we'll see if my advice is any good or not.
Yeah. Is that a public kind of agreement that once you become a platinum-selling disco star, you're going to come back on the pod, yeah? Can I hold you to that?
100%. I'll fucking do podcasts 24 hours a day if I could. Fucking talking about myself is on my CV.
Your speciality. Nice one, man. I'm going to finish it. This has been class, and I have no more questions, and that's it. Let's end it.
That's good. I hope you got enough to find a podcast in there somewhere.
Yeah. I don't know what it is. Like, this is a strange episode for me.
Really?
It's feeling strange. Yeah. I'm almost like too relaxed.
Really?
Like I can't finish it. I can't like. Usually I'm like, oh yeah, thanks for coming on. Thanks for your time, and we'll see you next time. But I can't do it.
That sounds fucking ideal. I'm really happy with that you've said that. On that Matt Morgan podcast I told you about, it's called Funny Hell, by the way.
Yeah.
And if any of the viewers listen to that, they'll realise that I've ripped off fucking tens of stories from it. But
so don't listen to it, is what you say.
No, I'm joking. Listen to it; it's great. But in that is the same vibe because he's chatting with Joe Lycett. Do you know him?
Yeah.
And they're getting on so well, having such fantastic banter. And they're drinking wine, and it's the exact same thing at the end. He starts to wrap it up, and then 40 minutes later, they're still talking about absolute shit, and it's really sort of fun and warm, and nice to listen to. Yeah, it's exactly what it is. Just nice to listen to. It's like you're almost having a conversation, even though you're not speaking. You're part of it, but you're not. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's like we're having a conversation, and the listeners are lucky to have a peek into it, sort of thing.
So lucky.
Yeah.
So lucky.
One of the comments I had about Beers and Feelings was that it felt as if they were just a fly on the wall listening to me having a really good, funny chat with my friend, and not us just being like, hello, what have you been up to? I've been doing this. What about you?
But I guess you had an advantage there because, like, how long have you known Daniel? Got to be a long time, right?
Yeah.
Was it not that long? Was I just being deceived by your friendly banter?
I tell you what, we get on so well, it would seem like we're childhood friends.
Yeah,
but
you do.
But we're actually not. Don't even fucking like him. No,
not even friends.
No, let
alone childhood friends.
I met him that day. No, we've known each other for like 4 or 5 years. But we're very similar, me and Daniel. It's strange. But yeah, I've had comments saying that he was particularly good, and we were particularly good at chatting.
He was, not you.
Yeah, me as well.
We like Daniel. Give him the podcast.
To be fair, it was mostly me. I'll give him that. But he said that we had a good rapport, and I have done podcasts with a couple of people, and they were good. I'm not saying they were shit, but for some reason, Daniel's was good flow, and which is the reason why that's the special one-off podcast, unless people like it, and then there might be another one.
So get on it. I want another one. So I'll listen to it again. I'll listen to it twice to give you 2 streams. So yeah.
Fucking right, do that. And
You're welcome.
and if the music career falls flat on its ass, there's always podcasting.
Is there a little bit of that in the back of your mind? Is there like, if music falls back, then I'll try and push the film reviews, or I'll try and push podcasting, or just something else?
If I spin as many places as I can,
Exactly.
when the music career falls apart, which it at some point indefinitely will,
Undoubtedly. Yeah.
inevitably will. Sorry, I can pick up fucking Beers and Feelings or the famous Friday film review.
Yeah. Keep that plate spinning instead.
The plates fucking fell off the film review a long time ago, but it's it's all a good laugh.
Yeah. I think I'm just going to fade this one out.
You're gonna have to. You're gonna have to just quit the screen. Just there's no wrapping it up. It's just like, oh fuck
just
me.
Just like stop. I'm just going to press hang up at some point, and he's going to be like, oh, I guess that was the end then. There it is. Nah, let's end it, man. Thank you very much for chatting with me.
You're welcome.
I will speak to you soon. All the best with Do You Think You're in Love by Conor Latcham on Trident Records, coming out on March 26th.
Fucking fantastic memory.
See? There it is. There it is.
Yeah, thanks for having me, and fucking good luck trying to edit that. It's been great. Thank you.
See ya.
Good night.
Bye.
Good night, Ben. By the way, I just realised, have you got any policies on swearing on the podcast? I know we just finished it, but fuck me.